are just 1 day away from the first game of Eagles preseason and excitement levels are through the roof. It's time to start printing out depth charts and circling players to watch, and with that in mind, I've done some of the hard work for you. Here are 5 of the most under the radar players worth keeping a firm eye on tomorrow against the Titans, who could be primed to make a big splash. Before we get into the video, guys, as always, make sure if you enjoy this sort of content to leave a like, hit that big red subscribe button, and of course let me know down in the comments which players you'll be watching out for in tomorrow night's game. If you can't watch tomorrow night's matchup, or instead you're looking for something else, we will be hosting a live watch along here on the Philly Sports Network YouTube channel. We're going to have live commentary, analysis from myself, giveaways, and of course there'll be a live chat filled with hungry Eagles fans looking to get the most out of tomorrow night. So get yourself a beer, get some snacks, settle in. We will have you covered for all things Eagles vs Titans. The stream will start at around 7 PM right here on the YouTube channel. I hope to see as many of you there as possible, but between now and then we're going to have 5 under the radar players to watch and maybe a little something special tomorrow as well. We're going to start things off with the man who led the Eagles in interceptions last year and has enjoyed a strong offseason. Rasul Douglas and Sidney Jones continue to make regular plays during training camp, and with Jalen Mills still on the PUP list, there's a starting role to be won. If we assume that Ronald Darby has a padlock on CB1 for now, that leaves Douglas, Maddox and Jones to battle it out for the 2 remaining spots. For whatever reason though, Douglas has been on the outside looking in for quite some time, and when it comes to situations like this, his aggressive play simply has to shine through, just as it did when he was finally given an opportunity in the heart of the regular season last year. A late breakout helped surge the Birds to a playoff run when the secondary began to falter, and if Douglas can make a splash in preseason, maybe by picking off a pass or simply showing improvements in coverage, then Schwartz may be left with no choice but to let Douglas thrive in a starting role. That all starts against the Titans team that brings talent like undrafted free agent Anthony Ratliff-Williams, who's enjoying a strong camp of his own, alongside the bigger players like Corey Davis. There'll be plenty of opportunities for Rasul Douglas to turn heads, and I expect him to do exactly that. Next up is quarterback Clayton Thorson, and he may be 4th on the depth chart, but Thorson may get more exposure than any other Eagles QB this offseason. Keen to see what they have in their 5th round selection, the Birds will be hoping to see a little bit more than what they have so far in training camp. Thorson has been worryingly inconsistent up to this point, but if all of that changes in live game scenarios, the Eagles may be convinced to keep him on that final 53. He's not the most accurate of quarterbacks and has a worrying touchdown to interception record coming out of college, but if Thorson can show an ability to manage the game and chip his way down the field, then the Northwestern product still has every chance of forcing his way onto the roster in a bid not to be exposed to the waiver wire. What I'm looking for from Thorson is someone to be cool, calm and collected, to get inside the huddle, rally the offense around him and to take what the defense gives him. There is no point trying to show off or just go for the home run straight away, because you will be manipulated into mistakes by defenders who are also trying to steal that spotlight. What you want to do is use guys like tight end Richard Rodgers, like Dallas Goedert if he's available on the field, utilize guys like Charles Johnson, Greg Ward Jr. and Marken Michel, players who can make plays in space and make the quarterback frankly look a bit better, because Thorson needs all the help he can get right now, and with a versatile backfield behind him, he'll be working with guys like Donnell Pumphrey, which is never really the strongest platform to stand on, but there will be players potentially like Boston Scott if he's healthy enough to go, Corey Clement and Wendell Smallwood, both of whom will be getting valuable reps working their way back into a regular spot in the rotation. Thorson can just keep his cool, pave his way down the field and even just lead the team to a couple of field goals. That will be a solid first outing to build on. You're not looking for Thorson to come in and start throwing 6 touchdowns a game, but on the inverse of that, I don't want to see him be too aggressive and throw 6 interceptions. He has to be composed, play it simple and be very much a game managing quarterback. If he can do that, he'll improve his chances of staying massively. Third on my shortlist is CFL start Marken Michel, who is actually listed as the primary slot backup behind Nelson Aguilar for Thursday night, which is huge for the former CFL standout who has quietly had an impressive summer. But how has he been pushed ahead of guys like Greg Ward Jr.? That's a very valid question that some people have asked. Well, to put it simply, we're a big fan of Michel here at Philly Sports Network. One of our writers, Morgan Burkett, noted recently that Michel is an absolute demon in the open field. The Eagles want players who can let it rip in open space. CC Golden Tate, who had 54.4% of his receiving yards before joining Philly last season, come after the catch. Now, 394 of Michel's 1,215 receiving yards, or 32% in the CFL, also came after the catch. He also averaged 11.8 yards per carry as a jack-of-all-trades player that will be very useful on jet sweeps, screens, play action looks, dumps, and a whole multitude of ways to get him involved, which is something the Eagles have really wanted to get out of their slot receivers. We've seen it plenty with Nelson Aguilar. They tried to do things with Golden Tate. I think Michel could be a very much bang-for-your-buck type player that brings that same skill set to the table at a pinch of salt of the price. We couldn't list one CFL standout without the other though, and with Camu Grugier-Hill injured and Paul Warrilow still battling knee problems, there will be a huge window of opportunity for the 2017 most outstanding defensive player of the year from the Canadian Football League. After going undrafted in 2015, Singleton bounced around NFL practice squads before landing in Calgary, where in 3 seasons he recorded 311 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 pick and another forced 6 fumbles. The Eagles aren't exactly inundated with linebacker depth right now, and if Singleton can prove upon his return to the NFL that he can cut it with the big boys, his chances of securing a roster spot will skyrocket after what's already been an impressive summer. Watch for an impact on special teams too, an area of focus for the linebackers and one area of strength for Singleton, who amassed 29 special teams tackles in the last 2 years. And finally, Joe Ostman's injury has thrown a spanner in the works of the Eagles' defensive ends, and with depth now minimal, a lot of focus is being placed on Josh Sweat, but it's rookie Shariff Miller who perhaps carries the most injury. I'm a fan of Miller's game, but his skill set was one-dimensional coming out of college, and without much in the way of pass-rushing moves at his disposal, how much can change in one summer? Well, we're about to find out, and if the answer is a lot, then the Eagles may not be in as deep waters as first thought when it comes to defensive end, but that is going to be a real area of focus. Can we see Shariff Miller get to the quarterback? Can he get into the backfield? And what happens when the ball rush doesn't work? Has he developed a spin? Does he have any other moves at his disposal? That's a real area of focus. That's a real area of focus for me going into Thursday night. But who are you looking forward to seeing ball out tomorrow night, guys? Let me know down in the comments. I can't wait to see as many of you as possible here tomorrow night live at around 7 PM on the Philly Sports Network YouTube channel. From myself, Liam Jenkins, you can follow me on Twitter at LiamJenkinsPSN. I'll see you tomorrow for the resumption of football season.